welcome to the Addiction of Beer podcast. My name is Sean. Joining me today is the one and only Mr. Kneebone, Lachy Kneebone.
Just I'm back. I'm back.
Welcome back on the pod. How's things?
Yep, good. Same old, same old.
As well, same old since the last time we recorded. Your Orlando Magic have been.
So yeah, I was trying to think because I reckon I said we'll finish 6th and go out embarrassingly, and you were like, no, aim high, and what it was, finish 8. It's pretty funny running, like losing to Philly, but then getting Pistons. And I remember messaging you like game by game as it went down. And it was like, God, it was just the shakiest 3-1 lead of all time. Like, it'd be up there. Had no confidence in it. I did think they'd probably win the series, but whatever.
Yeah, like
winning 3 is kind of crazy on its own.
You also went into that second play-in game with like the most negative vibes ever. No one wanted you to win, and it's like, oh my God, the Charlotte Hornets who are like 100-0.
It was fun, eh? Yeah,
everyone
liked them too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and you were like. Last year, well, we can now say last year, the least fun basketball team in the whole entire league, maybe, but apart from the Tankers.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you getting 8, and you mentioned you got 8, and obviously you drew Detroit, lost in 7. If you had won that first playing game, you'd be playing Boston, who fell apart in their own right. And then a little bit higher, you'd be playing New York, and then
there's no way they'd beat Boston like either.
Yeah, but it's like we've seen Boston fall apart. Like if they just miss 70% of their threes for 3 games against you guys, then you look just as good as Philly do, and then you get swept in the second round.
Yeah, that Philly one's crazy too because it's like I feel like whoever wins the East is going to be like, fuck yeah, thank you Philly, just getting rid of Boston for no reason.
Yeah. They're such a high variance team. Franz Wagner was 3-1 in the playoffs, and Paolo Banchero was 3-4 in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing, isn't it? Like, sure, it's all well and good being up 3-1, and even if you're up 3-1 against a team that's better than you, but you can't lose your second best player, and like you should probably squeeze out a game. But without him, it's like, come on, like there's not many teams that are going to beat Detroit without their second best player.
Yeah,
there's hardly any.
We might actually, and we'll speak about this later, but we might actually see OKC trying to beat Detroit without their second best player in J-Dub, who has played 1 game.
What's going on with that? I keep seeing him out.
But they
win every game
since the finals. Yeah, and also the games are so fucking boring. So it's like I'm not tuning into any of that Phoenix series. AJ Mitchell.
That was a simulated series, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was.
I completely forgot about.
That's a great way to word that. Yeah. That's an extremely weird situation. But anyway, I feel like we're getting deep into the weeds a little bit. Do you have any funny stories? Anything you wanted to say at the top of the pod?
Well, not really. I was thinking on the way here, I was like, gee, I don't know. I haven't really done much interesting. When was the last... I haven't even seen you in ages, but then I remembered I saw you
2 weeks ago.
A couple of weekends ago after a Bucks party I was at.
You were levitating.
Yeah.
And so you should. It was a Bucks party.
Yeah. Probably need to be investigated by WIDA, but I do remember seeing you and saying something about the pod, but I don't remember. It was it was a long day.
Yeah. But you guys were just I came in. I was at the footy that day. Yeah. I saw Essendon versus Brisbane, one of the greatest games of football ever played. Yep. The best 70-point blowout. And then I went out for a few beers later, and then I went home and watched a movie, had a quiet little dinner, and just hung out. And then I rocked up, and then all you guys are just glowing. And then there was 2 going away parties, a Bucks party.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on at once.
Fucking wife's birthday at the same time.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was a bit of chaos. It was chaos. Yeah. I mean, I think we started at like 11 or something. So yeah. And the game's the game.
Maybe just one thing. What's the trick to a good Bucks? Just one trick.
Well, what do you got to say that's radio friendly, I suppose? Have me there. That'd be one. I feel like I'm a good role player. Come off the bench, but raise the floor a bit. I think it's just
Robert Covington and Bucks parties.
I think it's just planning. Like the thing is, we planned this one, but the more planning you do, the better, because it just goes to shit straight away, and the plan doesn't work. So as long as you got some sort of structure, then you can sort of loosely follow it and keep in mind that it's not going to follow it, and then you can just sort of make up shit as you go. That's the key. But I've only been to a couple, but that one was good. That was very good.
Nice. Well, before we get into the pod, rest in peace, Brandon Clark and Jason Collins, two very sad stories. And yeah, I guess Jason Collins was a head coach, well, not a head, he was a coach for the Golden State Warriors during some of our success.
Really? I didn't know that.
And Brandon Clark, really interesting, fun role player who's been fun to watch. And
there was that series, wasn't it? Like when they had that fun little run when they were all something about at Memphis.
Yeah, where it was like, wow, these guys are going to be the next 10 titles.
Yeah. That was fun, and like everyone sort of hated them, and they were like had a few like hateable characters.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that team.
Yeah, everyone on that roster was undersized. Like Brandon Clark was like a 6'9" center, right? Like he just wasn't really good enough to play defense as a center, but it's like he can get by because he's outscoring you. His famous push shot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it was like him. I was talking about this with the other pod guys. It was him and Rashawn Holmes, who was like, who's got the best push shot? Like they were shooting like 60% from floater range, and it was all just like dump offs from jar. He's just inside the free throw line, and he just skyrockets it. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, the game's a game.
Memories. Your mate, James Harden.
Yeah, well, I've come at a good time. It would have been funny if we did this a few days ago, when they're down 0-2, and he's had fucking 6,000 turnovers and 2 field goals made or whatever. But yeah, and then the game was game 4, and just came out and scored like 11 in the first 3 minutes, and I was like, holy shit, he's going to be like on, and then just put the brakes on for the rest of the game, and then it was Donovan dropping 40 in the second half. Yeah, they're a bit unpredictable. They haven't really fully got it all working at the same time, which is good because they're 2-2 with the 1 seed. So
true, yeah. If you're not firing on all cylinders, but like this.
It's a weird series, this one.
It's both teams are, I would say, deeply flawed.
Yeah.
Like Detroit, Duncan Robinson missed today's game. Just for a recap, the Cavs won Game 5, 117-113. They were without Duncan Robinson, who's their only reliable shooter.
Yeah, you saw that.
And as soon as Duncan Robinson got injured, Kevin Huerter was listed as available to play today. He played 0 minutes because he's somehow a worse defender than Duncan Robinson.
Well, they're pretty. Yeah, I mean they're not crazy different from each other, are they? Really?
No, they're almost the exact same player. Just such a fucking flawed roster, this Detroit team, and you know that
it's so top heavy. But then when the top's not heavy anymore, then what do you got? You got nothing.
The second best player, Jalen Duren, played 0 minutes in the fourth.
I was going to ask you about that because I remember watching it and I was like, he's injured. I just didn't even think about it. And then I was like, well, yeah, Reed's playing fine. Like he's actually doing what he can against a Mobley that just decided, I'm going to be able to hit everything I want. Not really even his fault. Reed was good. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe he's tweaked something and they're playing Reed. And then after everyone on Twitter and shit saying no, he's fine. Why didn't he play? And it's like,
yeah, he's just failed to assert himself in the playoffs whatsoever. Like he was getting his fucking ass ate by Wendell Carter Jr., which is like Wendell Carter Jr. That's kind of crazy.
That's Angela Reese's job or whatever her name is. No,
Angela Reese.
Angela.
No, but it's weird because like you should never, he might be an all-NBA center this year, right? Like he's definitely
easily say for regular season,
and like they won 60 games. It's weird how much he has just completely disappeared.
He has sort of dropped. I'm not ready to sell stock on Duren. I think he's still quite young for what he is. Like those guys normally don't really get fully pumping until not even like 3 or 4 years from now in terms of his age.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's probably a good thing for him to get, have a really strong regular season and then get clowned in the playoffs because it's sort of, it's going to force you to be like, oh, it's quite different, especially for bigs. It's different when you go from one to the other. So, I'm not ready to throw him away yet. I think his potential's there, but in the playoffs, compared to what he was doing in his regular season, when he's just bullying blokes.
Yeah.
It's not a really good look.
Yeah, especially because that's his whole game. It's not really a skill game.
No, it's not. Yeah.
He is 22 years old. These playoffs, he's averaged 10 and 8.5 while shooting 49% from the floor, which is shocking for a big. For reference, in 6 games last year when they lost to New York, he averaged 12 points, led I mean, led the league in playoffs, offensive rebounds with 4.5. But he shot 65% from the floor. So he was just filling his role last year. This year, it's just, you can't even say it's like a matchup, really. Like, Jared Allen's like sort of in that Wendell Carter Jr. territory where it's like...
Well, with the Magic, he wasn't good against the Magic.
Yeah, it's like these are replacement level guys. You are an all-star on a 60-win team. You are designated as the second best player, and like how far can a team go with Tobias Harris as the second best player, because that's what it's been so far.
I mean, that question's been asked for like the last 15 years and the answer's not far.
It's and Beef Stew can't get out of foul trouble, can't get out of technical foul trouble. He only played 11 minutes today, which I would like to see him played more.
He's a matchup for the Cavs, though. Got some very crafty foul baiters in there. Even the bigs. You've spent enough time in the locker room with Spider and fucking Harden, you're going to learn how to foul bait pretty good. So, like, there's a lot of guys, like, Stewart's really good when he can... Like, a Stewart on, like, 3 fouls in the second half is great because he's, like, yammed up, he's fucking here. But as soon as he gets to 4 or 5, it's like he's useless. So, I don't know.
Beef Stew might be sort of like a system great regular season option in my opinion. Because he is undersized, right? So he's not going to be good against like the proper big guys. And he's just too slower footed in the playoffs, which is just like bang, mismatch every single time down. He's just going to get stranded on an island, and he clearly doesn't do that.
I still think if you're a Pistons fan, you'd be feeling a bit hard done by. Like, they were up by 10 with 2 minutes to go. They really should have won that.
Yeah, that run. You would message me saying Donovan Mitchell, like, he's shit. He's just he's done nothing, and he's good.
At one point, he was like 1 of 9 from 3 or something. Like just costly little mistakes, like doing that thing where he just dribbles, and then just gets picked, and it's like, you've just wasted 10 seconds for nothing. But he came sort of alive. He didn't come alive. He just hit the shots he needed to right at the very end. But it's obviously like, it was Strus, man. Like, just a couple of he had like a few like offensive boards that he had no right. Like, they spun out his way. It wasn't like he muscled blokes, but like he just was always active. The amount of second chance points they got off him, and then that crazy turnover. I can't even remember who it was.
The inbounder.
The inbound turnover, another 2. And then at that point in the game, once they had that little wedge, they're like, well, hang on, no, I'm just going to go to the line now. Harden's just like, well, I'm just going to close it out. End up missing all his free throws, which is unlike him. But they still slowed it down enough at the end. Once it went to OT, I was like, playoffs, OT, home team's probably going to have the advantage here. They started off on like a nice little 4-0 run, and I was like, damn. And then they just played defensive again, and the Harden just went to the line. And it's just like...
and it's really easy to defend when, like, Tobias Harris, 6 and 19, Asar Thompson obviously getting left wide open almost under the paint as well. Cade Cunningham forcing a lot of shots in the fourth quarter at overtime as well. Because he had, and it's sort of feel bad for him.
He had a good game, but
he's still got padding on his ribs from so it's like this poor bastard.
No, he's going through it,
But Max Strus, 36 minutes, 20 points, 6 threes, 8 rebounds, and 6 of them, 2 of them offensive. I read that wrong.
But just a game. It's an absolute game.
The only guy on this whole roster who seems to have a mindset. Like, he's the only one.
Well, I remember because he was injured for so long towards like the end of the season. And I remember like reading, people saying like him coming back for the playoffs is like a nice little in. And then people going, Max Strus, like, that's not really going to shift the dial. And that literally shifted the dial on this exact game. Like, this is a fucking away game against a 1 seed. And it's just like, shit like that can happen. You just get guys in there who could do it. And it's funny, we were talking about the other 2 white boys before, like a Duncan Robinson or a Herder. Like, Herder did that as well in that series ages ago when he played for Atlanta. He had that one game against the Knicks or something, and he just like
and they called him Cave.
Yeah, that's right. And it's like, you can have these guys who can just have one game, and if it falls at the right time, like Strus they go home next week, he could go like 5 from 3, but like he had the game at the right time.
Yeah, and Strus... it's like he's been doing it for the last 6 years, right? All those Miami runs. He's
very solid.
Yeah, and it's just, God, it's so valuable having him, especially on a team with Donovan Mitchell, who since the bubble hasn't really had any good playoff runs, always losing to James Harden. James Harden, obviously famous for not having good playoff runs. He's had one good game against Boston while he was with Philly. Evan Mobley, like you summarised him really well. He's always been like 2 years away from breaking out, and then it's like, oh, he's here now. It's like, is he? Cause
I don't know.
He's still averaging 18 points a game, but
he's very good today.
But then when he makes his shots, it's like, fuck, how do you stop this guy? It's like Kevin Durant, but taller and better defensively.
Yeah,
he's seriously one of the most inconsistent basketball players.
Yeah, like but as a team, man, like. I mean, that if it's advantage Cleveland, obviously, but like I would not be surprised at all if they go back to Cleveland, they lose a tight one that's a coin flip, anyone could have won it, and then say Cade makes a shot or Tobias Harris makes a shot somehow, like just one of those ones, and then it goes back to Detroit and Detroit blow them out by 20. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. But at the same time, Cleveland winning the next game by like 10, 15 wouldn't surprise me either. So it's like they're very, very funny little matchup, these two.
Yeah, and it is obviously Duncan Robinson was out. Karis LeVert had a really good game 4.
Yeah.
So he took up a lot of the minutes as opposed to Kevin Huerter. So Kevin Huerter played 3 minutes. Karis LeVert played 24. But Karis LeVert went right back to being the Karis LeVert of old, where it was like, oh, that's you like Cam Thomas, but everyone's got to respect you.
Yeah, he was kind of running around. Yeah. You know who was good though? The kid. Jenkins, he was great. He was like the only one like with great energy, like going hard at him, like getting in blokes' faces, and so I'm like, this is what you need. Like this is a game. Like you got to win this game at home. Yeah, and he's like getting up in Harden's face and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is what they needed. They needed more of this, not like blokes just carrying away. Like,
prediction. You mentioned all the different avenues this could go down, but who wins from here?
Well, you got to say it's going to be Cleveland close it at home. Good game, close game. Nice little run at the end by Detroit. Get up. Everyone's like, well, this is probably pancakes. And then Harden step back 3, fouled by Tobias Harris. 4-point play to ice the game. That would be how I imagine it ends.
That's exactly how you want it to end.
That's exactly how I want it to end, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it will end.
You have to assume the Cavs have the momentum from here.
Well, they've been good at home, but like they are, like there's as you say, like Mitchell. Who are your big honchos? It's Mitchell, it's Harden. Like, you got a couple of...
No mindsets there.
Well, some serial choke artists there. So, as much as it pains me to say, but in saying that, no, they close it out and then they sweep the Knicks and they win the chip, mate. So...
Would you, like, all seriousness, would you pick either of these teams to beat the Knicks if they get through?
I think you could say the Pistons would give them a run. Yeah.
But Cavs,
with home court, yeah, sure, why not? Cavs, you know, it's funny. They actually swept them this year.
Yeah.
In the regular season, yeah. But there's obviously like the first 1 or 2 obviously was a completely different team. They would have had Garland and stuff. Yeah. But, I mean, not impossible. Yeah. But I feel like, beating New York without home court, tough. Yeah. And also the killer in the standings, there's one game that split them too. Yeah. Any one of those games in the whole season, if they had won, then they would have had equal. Yeah. They get the home court from the 4-0, and then maybe it's a different series. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say Cleveland can beat them, but why not? You never know. Yeah, it's not like New York are like
they're not world beaters, but they have looked really like. There's been a lot of good quotes where it was like, "Hey, we're going to fire Mike Brown 5 minutes before the final siren goes," and then all of a sudden Mike Brown's offense just works. Everyone's passing like Cat's doing exactly what we thought he would be doing.
I'd say in that matchup, you'd say Brunson's comfortably the best player in the series.
Yeah.
And then you could even argue Cat's probably. You could argue he's better than Harden in the series or better than Donovan. Like you could argue they're the best 2, but I don't know. It's not impossible. You never know. Yeah. Harden likes Madison Square Garden, man. He just dropped 60 in there a few times. He could be ready to go.
I love your encyclopedic knowledge of James Harden.
Yeah. Well, the best stat is that one. You know, he had the highest over/under prop bet ever because over/under was like 47.5.
But it's for points in it.
Yeah, for points in a game, he dropped 60.
That's funny. Spurs Wolves.
It's been fun.
This is someone on Twitter was like, the NBA has the worst regular season, but the best postseason. I saw
that tweet. Yeah, and it's true.
So true.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching the game today, and I'm like, fuck man, like Dennis Schroeder really cares. This is awesome. Everyone's trying. And it's like, wow, if we could have this next season.
You can't though.
Do you reckon?
Well, maybe there's a way. I mean, they're trying shit with the cup and whatnot to get some care into it. But there's this fact of the matter is there's too many games, but you can't change it because it ruins the math of everything. Yeah. The awards and the records and whatnot.
Well, not even that. It just ruins the TV money.
Well, that's also true. Yeah.
And people argue that less games means the games are worth more, but it's
It's not necessarily true.
It would be hard. Yeah, they're using the NFL as the reference there. So they play like 20 games, right?
Yeah.
And they make more money than the NBA. But then that takes time, and that also takes a much bigger sample size. I'm sure if they just cut the games down by 20.
Yeah, it's a different game though. It doesn't. Yeah, it's not a like for like.
Yeah. Before we actually do get to the Spurs Wolves, you saw the lottery reform or the proposed lottery reform?
I saw there was a few people putting their ideas in, and there was some that I was like, that's dumb. Some that I was like, that's actually great. But like, I don't know what was the one that they actually floating.
So what they did is called a 3-2-1, right? So instead of, you know how at the moment there's like a 4-digit combination, there's computers that draw numbers and you need to get like, and it doesn't make sense. They've gone back to ping pong balls, and they said that they might actually televise it, right? So the most ping pong balls you can have is 3, and then the smallest amount you can have is 1. So if you're let's say you've just got the whole conferences right in front of you. If your seed's 4 through 10, then you get 3 ping pong balls. If you lose the first play-in game, you get 2 ping pong balls. And if you win the play-in games, you get 1 ping pong ball. But the bottom 3 seeds also get 2 ping pong balls. So that's called the relegation zone. So if you have one of the worst, actually this is just for the conference, for the whole entire league. If you have one of the 3 worst records, you have 2 ping pong balls compared to 3. So for example, the Milwaukee Bucks this year would have 3, while the Utah Jazz would have 2. So it incentivizes teams to get out of those relegation zones.
The mid.
Yeah. So you want to fight to be in the middle.
It actually does kind of work in a sense, because like the issue with doing that with just picks is like people try and fight to get into the middle zone, but if you're shit, you're stuck down there forever. Whereas like this, it actually kind of works in a sense. Even if you are shit, you still get there's a chance element. You can still find your way out just through the luck of it. Like, it's not a crazy difference in luck.
And also, teams are going to go into the off season. Like, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, right, you wouldn't have entered this season with dog shit on your roster. You would have been like, okay, well, we need shooters. Maybe we sign Tim Hardaway Jr. instead of Denver. You start bringing in veterans. And then so all of a sudden, this sort of middle tier of players who, like, who was someone like Utah and Memphis at the moment, or like all these teams that are like going to go tank at the start of the season, like Indiana. Instead of saying,
that worked out well, didn't it?
Yeah, but instead of them saying, all right, let's just enter with an absolute desolate roster and we'll pump the team in the following off season. Now they have to try at least a little bit to say, all right, well, let's have the 4th worst record instead of the worst record.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, I'm sure you could pick apart some reasons why it wouldn't work, but I almost reckon that's better than what it is now. Like I was saying before, regular season sucks. Like, you've got 5 teams that have checked out before the fucking thing's even started. It's like, well,
and then 4 teams join them halfway through the year.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, but I mean, the playoffs is so much better, but like, you need the regular season to build the storylines. This guy hates this guy because of this game, or whatever it is. This trade because of this, like.
And down the end of last year, Brooklyn played Indiana twice and Washington once, right? And they were just like double tank offs. And it was like no one wants to win that game. Sharif Cooper's playing 36 minutes. When they use this new lottery reform, those games are going to matter, because if those 2 teams are the bottom 3, they're sort of going to be fighting to get out of the bottom 3. And then let's say they have, let's say. Like they were resting, it was Indiana and they were resting Pascal Siakam. They're going to play him and they're going to make him play really well, and they're going to coach their ass off, and they're going to try and get Nemhard to come back, or they're going to get Neesmith to play because they want to get out of that bottom 3.
Give them a reason to play down the stretch.
Yeah.
You're right. Like, if you have 2 shit teams playing at the end, it's actually good. Like, that's actually fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're really trying to get out.
You're going to see, like...
It's still better, though. It's like, I don't really see how it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah. Which is true. I think, this year we had, 4 teams that...
It was pretty bad this year.
Their wins started with a 1. 2 teams, sorry, but 20, 22, and 22. Like that Brooklyn, Indiana down the end of the season, that would be like a tactical marvel, where it's like, hey, how about these 2 good coaches? How are they going to like get value out of like a fucking...
It's like
just the shittest pick and roll ever.
Yeah, it just turns it into like... Yeah, it does. It just turns it into like a little coaching battle at the end. Yeah. Well, it's still better than watching like two teams tanking against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to do something. That's the thing.
They got to do something.
So I'm all for anyone suggesting anything, because you can't just it's just
we can't
it's just dog shit. And if it's just more people just going to turn to the NFL and be like, this is way better.
Spurs Wolves and how we got talking about this. This is really good basketball. This is so much fun, and it's
I've been loving it. Yeah,
it's a tactical marvel, because the Wolves ran away with game one, where they came out and said, all right, we're just going to push Wemby really hard and we're going to pull on him, and they've been doing that for a few more games. Wemby obviously reacted with an elbow to the throat, and then in game 5 he reacted by scoring.
Great like 1 hour on Twitter that when he hit that elbow, that was fucking hilarious.
My favorite tweet was like, if Draymond did this, they'd shoot him with tranquilizer.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
But this, to me, it looks like the Spurs are going to easily finish this series. Are you feeling the same?
Yeah, I think the same. I've got a couple of good mates who would be diehard Wolves fans, so I've been talking it up for a while. Even like last round, I was like, it looks like we're heading this way. I want to see this. Big Frenchman versus big Frenchman.
Anthony Edwards, not healthy, but really trying to will his team to the end.
He's the kind of, he can play through injury, like he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah,
I feel like it's kind of on him. Like, same thing, very similar situations with Cade and Duran. You got Ant and Randall just gone to shit. Randall the whole way through the season, like, then the Wolves fans know, like, he's hero zero. Like, he has a game and you're like, fucking hell, he's very good. And they do it against a good opposition. And then he has one where he's just like, I mean, what is he doing? Like,
well, he's just always taking the same shots. So he's taking those, like, dribble, pull up, contested middies, and it's like, wow, they go in. Like, how do you stop this guy? But then it doesn't go in. And you're like, oh, wow, he's actually 6 of 19 from the floor.
Yeah.
Why are you just like a fat Tobias Harris?
Yeah. Some of that shit.
Yeah, and one of the things that Mitch Johnson did, arguably too late, he only did it from the second game onwards, is start just heavily doubling Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, because what are you going to do?
And there's just no, losing Dante DiVincenzo hurts so much, and losing him for 12 months, right?
That does it, because he can get himself open.
Yeah.
And he's an outlet too. Like, even if Ant gets doubled, someone else is open and you give it to Dante on a 1v1, it's not even horrible as a shot. Whereas right now, you make an Ant go against 2, and he's good enough that he can actually do it, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And not often. And he's passing it to like a contested Randall middle of shot, or some fucking, like, I don't know what their shot selection was like in the last game, but yeah, I mean, you hope it could be fun and like go to 7. Unfortunately, it's looking like it's going to be like, well, this was just going to be over when we didn't elbow that cunt in the face.
Yeah. You probably would have won at 5 if you didn't elbow him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Nas himself, like, he hasn't really been. He had, like, last year, like, when they seemed to always find themselves in the conference finals, the Wolves, he had a couple of games where he went nuts on his own. I don't know. Has he had one? Any of those yet?
He hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't really had an explosion. They're also, the Spurs play so small apart from the tall guy.
Which is the way you should play.
And they're whatever you want to say about Champagny, like, he's quite small. So it's usually 3 guards, Champagny and Wemby, and then those smaller guys are just obviously better at getting out on the floor and getting out and defending 3-pointers. So Naz Reid can't really be guarded by like a Jalen Duran type, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to sneak into the corner, and the big man defending me, he just mentally isn't prepared to stretch out to the corner.
Well, it's like, what's Rudy going to do when he's trying to watch Wemby, and then you've got 4 little dudes running in circles around, and one of them's going to be open or try and cut through to him, and it's like,
and it's clear that Victor can take Wemby 1-on-1 now as well.
So he can.
He almost needs help, and it's like, you're the former defensive player of the year, you need to help on that, and then everyone's just whirling around.
Well, I think you're saying that Rudy's been stretched a bit thin in this series. Like,
but also he fucking killed Jokic. Like, he did kill such a good job against Jokic.
Jokic was a little sloppy, but Rudy, but they're not the same player. Like, like Jokic and Wemby, like, they're completely different in terms of like what you got to do to. Rudy's style actually almost works on Jokic more, because it's just like
to be fair, this is the first time it's ever worked.
Yeah, no, but it's not. Yeah, maybe over the course of a series, but I feel like back when Jokic was just unbeatable, it was like, well, okay, he's unbeatable. Who can even remotely guard him? It's probably Rudy or like Embiid, and the only way Embiid got him because he could beat him on the offensive end. But like, he could score on him, like those games where he dropped 40 on him or whatever. But like, Gobert can't do that. But the only way to really stop Jokic was just go and big fat against big fat, and just hoping that he has an off sort of night.
Yeah.
Which is what Rudy did. He just went against him with big strength, and he had a couple of off nights, Jokic, and they won the series because Ant was good. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Until the same though, I think it's easy to say, but like, how the hell do you really guard Wemby in like a postseason series? Like, it's not really like it's an easy question.
Like the play where Wemby elbowed Naz, like there's a dude pulling his arm down, there's another dude grabbing his shoulder, and then Jaden McDaniels just loves bear hugging him. Like Jaden McDaniels is just wrapping his arms around him every chance he gets, and his jersey's getting tugged on every single rebound. Like it took him 3 games before he cracked someone. It would take me 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's all that what was it, Tibetan monk training he was doing, like keeping calm, I guess, because he's being calm. And like, you're right, it's with all those big guys in the NBA, especially in the playoffs, when the little guys know they can little stuff they can get away with.
Yeah,
and this guy's like a huge center who's very good. Like, if I'm a little guy, I'm obviously just gonna like pinch him and like pull his and just do anything to get under his skin.
Yeah,
and that's what the Wolves are doing, and so they should. You fucking play it. Like, you have to do whatever you can.
Yeah, it's really when they play like a rebound on slow mo, I feel horrible for him. Like, he's getting whacked at every opportunity, and it's showing his mental fortitude to not snap. Apart from the one time he did snap, but. Yeah,
I mean, they lose that game. I mean, like, that's gonna, like, no one here, like the way you see him in interviews and stuff, like that's gonna be in Wemby's head. Even if they win the series comfortably, that's gonna be in his head for fucking ages.
Yeah, I also think he's gonna be getting played like this for the rest of his career. How if you were a coach, because if you were a coach, how would you stop Wemby? Like, would you be doing the same thing Chris Finch is doing, which is just foul him every time, or? Like,
I don't know what the answer is. I mean, it depends on what I've got. If I've got another huge, or you almost want like a
bowl type.
Like, I don't know, like maybe like the Knicks or something, where you got a big, you can sort of run around with him, like kind of how they played Embiid. It's like you have Cat on him and just annoy him and just do what you can. And then have like a bench big, like a Robinson, who just say, look, your job, get fouled off, piss him off, like, and do that. But don't do it straight away. Do it over the course of like two quarters or
like
something.
Dwight Howard did that in the bubble playoffs against Jokic. He just got Jokic angry. Yeah.
And that's the perfect team. Like, you got AD, play on him, do the best you can. That's exactly what they did. Send Dwight out, send JaVale out, send the fellas out, just get fouls on him and piss him off, and it worked. You got to have an army of bigs to beat them. Those guys who are just generational bigs, like your Jokic or your Wemby. Like, you're not going to be able to beat Wemby one-on-one. It's going to have to be by a team effort. Like, you're going to have multiple fellas going in, getting fouls, pissing them off.
I wonder if it is the Knicks in the finals, if they... It's really hard to do 5 out, but if they could do 5 out, because one thing that Minnesota did down the end of this game is that they, like, obviously got strong side and weak side. They just put 4 dudes almost holding hands on the strong side, and then Ant ran right away, and it was like, if he does get doubled, the guy's going to have to run almost fucking 50 meters to go see him, right?
Yeah.
So there was a complete, like a huge weak side, where if Ant could take his man, then Wemby has to come over. And then there's these 4 Timberwolves in the corner that all of a sudden have to sprint away from their men. But to get into that instance, they have to be able to get a pick and roll to work without Wemby being involved. And they're always switching behind the play to get Wemby involved in the pick and roll. I think there might be something there where you do like a hyper weak side.
Well, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Yeah. Of the 7-game series, you can make the adjustments as you go. And I like watching those games where it's like, and they let you know, the commentators now, they're good. And they're like, well, there's a lot of talk about this. And then they watch the first few sets and you're like, oh, wow, they've changed. Yeah. You know, like they've tried something different. Yeah, now this guy's starting over here instead of this. And it's like the chess battle.
Yeah.
That's what you want, I suppose. You just want as many game 7s as you can get. But I'd like to see this one go to 7. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if it goes to 7, that means that Chris Finch has found something. I think if they just is it tomorrow? I think the game's actually Saturday.
It's a double header on Saturday.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's gonna be good.
I think if it does get to 7, it means he's obviously had a little advantage that they could crack into, but I just can't see that happening whatsoever.
Well, it's like I was saying, like, I mean, obviously it's easy to say, but like, if he doesn't get ejected, they probably win that game.
Yeah.
Like, But it's playoffs, like, you also can't be just elbowing blokes. So when you're in the middle of a very important game. So, yeah, I'd like to see it in 7 just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe they go 7 and... Hold on, what are they doing? They're starting Ingles on Wemby. What the fuck? And then here's the guy to get in his head. So some real, like, bring up World War II, like, get some real niche shit from Ingles, get in his head.
Ingles' final play as a basketball player is just to punch Wemby right in the chin.
That could be, I'd like to see him go out like that. Just dive into his knees or something.
Yeah, I mean, is that the play? You just heard him.
Yeah, maybe.
On to the news of the week. Now, I've already done a podcast on this, but I want to get your thoughts. Are you happy, unhappy for the Washington Wizards, Utah Jazz, Memphis Grizzlies, and Chicago Bulls?
Yeah, it's not really. Like,
who do you want to win the lottery?
Well, it's a lottery where the Magic weren't really involved at all, so I don't really care. But because I'm not rooting for something to happen, it's now, okay, I want the funniest thing to happen. And essentially what we got was the exact opposite of that. It's like normal, straight shooting answer on the lottery. Like, sure, it would have been horrible if it had happened, but, like, hilarious if, like, OKC got the pick. Or even, like, seeing some reward. I mean, Indiana losing was pretty funny. That at least was fun. They had young TJ up there on the panel just going, that was pretty good.
Yeah, would you trade Zubac for the 5th pick?
Yeah, well, I like Zoo, but that's
30 years old, needs a new contract this offseason.
It's obviously horrendous, but yeah, it's a funny fall from grace from really being in a genuine position to win the chip if he doesn't go down.
So sad.
Yeah, and then to really derail, like, quickly. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, the lottery, you just want comedy, I think, and you didn't really get it. So, I mean, it is interesting to see because it's not really set. It's like, it's not really...
Who's going to go what?
Yeah, it's not really like a universal pick. So,
have you watched any, like, highlights of these guys? Do you have a favourite?
Not this. I watched a little bit of Madness when they were playing in March, but not really. I mean, I've seen some Peterson stuff.
Yeah. Is anyone just, like, grabbing your attention? Is there someone you're like...
No, because I think it's because there's... In a way, I suppose it's good. You can't really go wrong, but maybe you can, and if someone has to end up being the guy who took this guy instead of this guy. Like, someone has to do that. It has to happen.
Yeah.
But at least it's when it's a level playing field, you're like, well, who cares? Like, you just draft for whatever you actually need rather than the talent. Like you guys picking Wiseman instead of Edwards, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or LaMelo Ball, or Tyrese Halliburton, or there's about 50 people we could have picked instead.
Yeah, but it happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I read something today, but it's obviously, I think it's just clickbait, but like the Wizards talking about they're open to trade the pick.
No, that's true. That was reported by Jake Fisher that the Wizards and the Jazz are happy to trade their picks as long as it's still within the top 4.
Okay.
So if you're the Wizards and you're like, bang, Caleb Wilson is the best player in this draft, and by most mocks, ESPN and the
What are they mocking at 1?
DeBuncer. Yeah, it's going DeBuncer, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, and then Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
They've just started doing sort of like draft workouts at the moment.
Yeah.
And so like Cam Boozer, he had a run where he hit like 17 of 19 threes in a row, and everyone's like, oh, but the knock on him was that he couldn't. He was sort of like just like his dad, Carlos Boozer, right?
Yeah.
John Hollinger had Cam Boozer as the number 1 overall pick.
Seems like it's so situational though with these guys. Like,
I'm really drawn towards AJ DeBuncer. I remember watching like high school clips of him. It's like high school tape with a grain of salt because these dudes are 6'9" and no one else has had a growth spurt who they're playing against. But fuck, he looked a lot like Giannis. Yeah,
okay. I'll check him out. Yeah, the only ones I've really seen is anything with Peterson, and he looks just like plug and play. Put him in any team, would be good. I don't know. Yeah, like it depends on it's your timeline more than your current players, because the NBA, like, who gives a shit about your current roster, really? It can be like completely different in 2 years. But if you've got a guy who you want to stick with and you've got the timeline sort of planned out, and you can get someone to pair, I don't know, like the Spurs, they land Wemby and they're like, oh, let's just get every single little guard that's good in the draft. And they just kept doing that for like 3 years. So I guess that's pretty easy. But I don't know. I just need to see what Washington do. They're in a very weird place, like as a roster.
Training AD.
Yeah, like it's a funny little, I don't know. I'm like, surely AD's, like, is he going to stay there? Like, surely not. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he said he wanted to meet with the front office to.
He's kind of in like no man's land there.
He is in no man's land, and like if you're a winning basketball team, like you're Orlando Magic, right? He would be an incredible fit, but you don't want to trade anything for him. One, because you don't have anything.
I don't have anything, yeah.
Like he's just going to get injured.
Yeah, no, he's
You'd rather 82 games of Wendell Carter Jr.
100%, yeah,
than like 40 with question marks.
and like he was like for a pretty mid player, he was like actually pretty good in the playoffs. Like Wendell,
yeah.
So it's
when he plays, he's really good.
yeah, it's just like the only way you're going to get AD now is just I think he's too big of a name and too like for what his output is. Like people have been saying that for years, but I mean more like. Sure, I'd have a punt on him if I could get him for $40, but I'm not going to pay $100 for him. Like, no way.
Yeah, and the fact that he wants a contract extension, that's what he's prioritizing. So it's like, all right, does he want $30 million a year for 3 years?
Unfortunately, he's got the point where it's like, do you want the security to stay in, or do you want to just have a little, just maybe I don't know, just have a little roll the dice, see if you can get on a team and try and get another ring or something.
Yeah. Does he want to take like the mid-level exception and just sign?
Just have a go. Yeah.
Sign with OKC in this off-season, right? If he's willing to do that, then yes. But
I don't think he's the kind of guy to do that.
No, and he has made it clear that he wants to sign a long-term deal with a title contender, which just isn't not going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Other piece of news that happened this week: Daryl Morey has been fired. This was almost as quick as your head coach Jamal Mosley getting fired after they lost the series, but this was maybe 24 hours later.
Yeah.
I don't think he deserved to get fired at all.
Which one are you talking about?
Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
Jamal Mosley. Probably
I was calling for his head. I'm pretty sure last time I was here.
But Daryl, this is really stiff for Daryl Morey.
I mean, he's had his ups and downs. I don't think there's anything worthy of a firing. I'd agree with that.
Like he came in and drafted Tyrese Maxey 22nd overall, right?
Yeah, it was competitive.
He's also drafted Jeremy McCain, who he traded for a quite valuable pick, but like he traded to OKC, right? And he's playing real basketball for a team that is favourites to win the title. Extended Joel Embiid. That extension is untradeable, you would say, sort of for AD reasons rather than production reasons. Signed Paul George, which looked absolutely putrid at the start, but Paul George had quite a good playoffs. But
it's okay,
drafted VJ Edgecombe in a draft that, when you look back on it, Con Knipple, Cooper Flagg, some really good basketball players in there, and he managed to get the third best player in a really good draft, which he had the third pick. Congratulations.
Still, I mean, it's still too early for that draft, but I'd be happy with that pick, man. He's good. Like,
hired Nick Nurse, who's been a good coach, and I think will continue to be a good coach. Still never made the conference finals, but like, is this next person that comes in at the moment? It's going to be Bob Myers. On an interim basis. Bob Myers, the former architect of the Golden State Warriors. But he's just going to be there on an interim basis until they find someone permanent. But like I can't find too many knocks apart from the big contracts to veterans and trading Jeremy McCain.
Yeah, the McCain trade was a bit...
But at the time, he looked shit and injured, and he was playing in the...
Yeah, he was kind of mid, sure, but... I don't know, like just trade him for, it almost felt like for no reason. Like,
well, Quentin Grimes was there because remember that's another win by Daryl Morey. They traded
that was good,
Caleb Martin or one of the Martin twins for Quentin Grimes, who just became incredible.
Production for production trade, that was very good. But I don't know. No, I still stand by. I don't think there's any reason to fire him. They're still stuck in the. I guess they may as well just be like, fuck it, let's just keep rolling until Embiid leaves and then build around Maxey and have a crack at something else. Yeah. But they're kind of in this, sort of hybrid zone where it's like, we're building Maxey and keeping Embiid, but, we could probably, they're in two different eras, I think. Like when the Embiid era ends and it's Maxey's team, you have a completely different team and you have to build around him, but they're kind of like in this hybrid. I don't know.
Embiid owed $190 million over the next 3 seasons.
It's a lot.
Really hard to trade.
It's kind of untradeable.
I floated the idea the other day of just calling up the Sacramento Kings and saying, give us any dead salary. Give us like Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan. We might even give you a pick on top to take him, just to sort of like mentally say, this is no longer, we're not waiting on 40 games from Joel Embiid to win games. We are waiting on Tyrese Maxey to flourish next to VJ Edgecombe and
I think they should.
Whatever other pieces.
They can do it. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but
No,
why
probably
not?
not.
Why not? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, Joel Embiid, 32 years old, will be getting paid $67 million, 6'7", when he's 36.
yeah, I mean, look, he's done. He's been done for a while. I mean, he had a couple of those really good games against Boston, just fueled on pure hatred, I think. Like, he was dropping 30 bombs, and then you watch him on the bench, he couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like, no wonder they got swept. Like, he played his finals in that series. Like, he was just doing it just in a pure hatred of the game.
Yeah. That was his first Game 7 win ever.
Yeah, I know. And he was just, like, completely broken, like, just looked like a disheveled body. So it's like, how long can... Yeah, like you get a good 40, you get a good 10-game stretch out of him, sure. Like,
yeah, I mean,
he's not going to be able to go deep in a playoff run when he's going to have, like we were saying, 6 blokes on the other team just going at him all fucking day, pinching him, grabbing him. Like, he's going to be like, there's just no way he can do a deep playoff run. No way.
Yeah, and the whole league knows that.
Yeah,
and so it's going to be a lot. And it's going to be a lot harder to trade him. But I would love the Sixers to.
I would
move
do
on for him.
But yeah, it is said and done.
Would you, if you, let's say it was to the Magic for Wendell Carter Jr. and John Isaac, and they give you a pick, like maybe they give you that Clippers pick for next year or whatever the pick was that they got in the Jared McCain deal, would you take that?
Nah.
Not even John Isaac, he's owed like 13 mil for next 2 years.
That contract's pretty bad too. I don't know. It's actually an interesting hypothetical. I don't know. I just feel like you could watch a game of an injured Embiid, Paolo, and France that would just be disgusting to watch. Like, it would just be horrific.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm actually going to go no. Yeah.
Which probably says something. You'd rather just continue with the 15th best centre who just shows up every night.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Which is a horrible proposal if you're trying to trade Joel Embiid, because then who's the 20th best centre? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Can he go to Dallas, like, for Daniel Gaff? Daniel Gaff is probably better, but yeah, what do you do?
There's not really a way out.
Nick Claxton to Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn. Well, but why would that? Like,
why would they do that?
Yeah.
And like, they don't have their pick next year. They're in theory trying to win games.
Yeah,
I have Nick Claxton.
There's really not many ways out. Yeah. I think they probably fucking know that.
And so the only thing they could do was fire the GM.
Yeah.
And say, hey, here's a couple of years to try and build something new. And then when that guy doesn't work, then you just fire him and keep rotating and saying, look, Tyrese, we're really trying, and we just keep firing guys, but they just don't know the answer. And the answer is shoot Joel Embiid.
Yeah, maybe that would be nice. Yeah, that's probably the play.
His money just comes off the books.
Yeah, that would be the dream, really. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's just... There's just that I just don't really see how it's possible to move him.
Yeah.
So,
damn. The Warriors it'd have to be one of Draymond Green or Jimmy Butler, but we would rather have Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Damn. All right. Well, fucking that's the pod, man. Is there anything you want to say at the end? Is any tidbits?
Well, what are we? We are right now 14th of May.
Yeah.
So I guess you will have to have me back on for discussion on Harden Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it?
Yeah. You're a friend of the program, James Harden.
There he is. And it's like, who would have thought?
Yeah.
I'm calling it now. I'm calling it early. They beat the Knicks. They beat the unbeatable OKC. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, imagine that. OKC Cleveland. Just a genuine style baiting off. Like the casuals would just fucking hate that, or the neutrals even. They would just hate that.
Or even the positives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Wolves in this Spurs series just because it's nice to... I feel like it's nice to root against Wemby. He's probably going to win 10 titles across his life.
It's a pickle.
In the next round, I'll be rooting for the Spurs against OKC. Are you in the same boat?
Same, yeah.
And then OKC versus anyone in the East. Are you always going to pick the East against OKC? As in to root for personally?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. Like, I don't really like New York, sure, but it would be funny to see the videos of the streets if they got up. That would be good to watch.
So you'd be going for New York ahead of OKC, just like on a personal basis.
Yeah, I think I'd pick anyone in the East. Yeah.
Just anyone that isn't called OKC, really.
Yep.
It's going to be nice to root for Wemby in the Western Conference Finals. as someone who's been rooting against him for this year.
You get all the chance to actually go for him. He's good to watch when you're going for him.
It's been hard work.
Yeah. Well, you've got a long shift ahead of you, so.
All right. Well, Kneebone, thanks for coming on. I'll speak to you next time.
My pleasure, mate.